Hello everybody, and Jess here and welcome back to Symphogear. Today we're gonna be watching episode 8. And I'm excited. First of all, I need something to wake me up because my coffee isn't doing the job. And Symphogear seems to be the perfect show to do that. Second of all, I'm excited because we got a lot of promise from the last episode. A lot of promise for future development in many venues, right? First of all, we have Chris, who is now not just merely a villain, but a fairly well rounded character. We now know her motivation. Her motivation is to end conflict, end fighting. And what's a better way to end fighting than to kill every single person who is capable of fighting? Right? Duh, it's obvious. We know that she's not a bad person. She helped those two kids when they were looking for their parent, right? She is simply extremely misguided. She is perhaps hurt by society and whatnot, and she was adopted by the Domimommy, Finney, or whatever her name is, and she simply grew dependent on her and on her ideals. And now that she sees herself being sidelined and Finney giving a lot more attention to Hibiki, she feels betrayed and she feels very jealous to add on top of all that. She has all the markings of someone who will definitely become a part of the main cast sooner or later. She will turn to the light side. She will still be grumpy. She will still be very tense, maybe, but she will join the good guys. And it might take a season. It might take two, but she will eventually be laughing with them. That's always how it is, and I'm betting it's gonna be the exact same way with Hibiki as well. And I just noticed that I did not open the correct list of characters. I opened the list of characters for Senkizeshu Symphogear AXZ. And that's not what I wanted to do. So give me a moment and I will fix that right quick. How do you navigate any list? I'm just gonna use the search bar. Not Symphogear, that's what I wanted. And there we go. List of characters. Now I recognize their names. Okay. What else happened? Another thing that happened is, of course, we learned that Hibiki is very, very special. We knew that even before, or at least I knew that. I thought that that might be the case because she managed to awaken Durandal all by herself. Meanwhile, to awaken Nehushtan, they needed a whole concert hall and two Valkyries singing, and it still didn't go as planned. And Hibiki just snapped her fingers and boom, there's Durandal. So she is very special. And that might be because she is a hybrid of a human and a relic, as we also learned. The fusion between her and the shards of Durandal is very, very unique. It's not something that happened before, which makes me think they might try experimenting with that in the future. Perhaps not Hibiki's organization, but the dark or secret organization that Finney seems to be a member of might start experimenting with implanting shards in people. I can absolutely see that as a possibility. What else? What else? What else? What else? Of course, we cannot forget that Miku didn't take the news of Hibiki being a superhero well. In my opinion is still that she overreacted massively, but whatever. I'm gonna trust the showrunners that they know what they're doing, and they're not gonna disappoint me by having the conflict between Miku and Hibiki remain unresolved and constantly terse and tense, not terse, constantly tense until the end of the season. I really have trust in them that they will solve it somehow. Either Miku will forgive Hibiki because of something, or Miku will briefly join the dark side, or maybe not even briefly, maybe she will join the dark side for a long time and will eventually be brought back by Hibiki, and they will cry in each other's arms and forgive each other. But I have full trust that they will do something about it. They will not let this conflict fester, because that's something I hate the most. They surprised me positively once when the issue of Miku seeing Hibiki with Tsubasa was instantly resolved by Miku witnessing Hibiki fight as a Valkyrie. So her being with Tsubasa was completely sidelined, and they didn't let that conflict fester. So I have trust that they will not let this conflict fester either. What's gonna happen in today's episode? I have absolutely no clue. We could go in multiple directions. We could follow up with Miku, or we could follow up with Chris. I'm assuming we're gonna follow up with Chris mostly. The issue with Miku will be still sidelined so that it can properly sink in, both for Hibiki and for us viewers, and it might even create some issues for Hibiki. I wouldn't be surprised. And after Chris joins the team, we're gonna solve the issue with Miku. That's my assumption, right? I have no clue what's really gonna happen, but I assume that that is what's gonna happen. What else happened? We also now know that Ryoko is obsessed with Hibiki. She has her cubicle completely plastered with Hibiki's photos, which again leads me to believe that she is indeed the same person as Finney. Will we see a confirmation of that anytime soon? Will we not? I don't know. That remains to be seen. They might as well be twins, or sisters, or a mother and daughter. Wouldn't be the first time when they would look exactly the same, right? And they both share a passion for Hibiki, except one turned to the dark side and one turned to the white side, to the light side. I don't know. Maybe. Probably not. They're probably the same person, let's be honest here. But I want to know how it gets resolved, if it gets resolved. And we also learned that my prediction about Symphogear being created by ancient Sumerians was confirmed. Call me a prophet from now on. Yeah, that basically sums it up. And I've already been talking for over 8 minutes, and we haven't even started watching the episode. So let's do it right now, shall we? I'm gonna give you some subs. I'm gonna give you a timer. I'm gonna give myself some sound and my throat some moisture. And my brain some caffeine. Because it was coffee. Coffee with oat milk. Interestingly enough. It's good. Oat milk has a nice grainy taste to it, grainy flavor. It really fits coffee well. I still probably prefer almond milk. No, I still prefer like cow milk. But I can't drink it because I'm lactose intolerant. And lactose-free milk is way too sweet for my tastes, so... But yeah, oat milk is good. Okay, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Symphogear. And in particular, the episode 8 of it, version by AGVC, subs by D-Track, and it's gonna be starting in 3, 2, 1, now. Of course, it's a rainy day, and Miku is very sad, and Hibiki is very sad because Hibiki gets to sleep on the couch. She got the wife angry, and now she faces the consequences. Or are they gonna make up instantly right now? Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if they had a nighttime heart-to-heart and just made up. Right, Chris is running from Domimomi. And she ran out of power and had to be unhenshin. Is Miku gonna meet Chris? Miku is gonna meet Chris. Where is that gonna bring us though? Hmm. I don't think Chris will bring Miku to the dark side. Chris doesn't really have the power to do that. We would need Finney to be that person. Maybe Miku is gonna bring Chris with her to the dorm. Hibiki is gonna see her, and Hibiki is gonna bring her to the light side. And is gonna make up with Miku in the process. Could we possibly solve two issues in one go? And also, I noticed a change in the OP. We now saw Finney in her weird Symphogear fusion with Nehustan. Someone mentioned that the OP is gonna change subtly as the series progresses, and that's the first change I noticed. I'm proud of myself. I'm guessing the next change will be that instead of showing Tsubasa the second time in that scene, they're gonna show Chris instead. That's my assumption, my prediction. Is it the noise running after Chris? Ichi balls. Yeah. Yes. You should take her in. What became of Miku, though? She's not at school, I'm assuming? She's not at school. Hmm. uh, I'm glad that they are genuine friends and not bullies. Way too often in an anime, you see the main girl being only having bullies and not friends. Where'd you bring her, Miku? Is it your family home or something? That's your payment for saving her. Yeah, it's her home. Is Miku gonna bring Chris to the light side? Miku is gonna become the first friend Chris ever had. Yeah, that's where it's headed. Okay, thank you for at least realizing that. Thank you for at least realizing that you were the reason. I'm glad. I'm glad that Miku feels guilty about it. She said what she said in a heat of a moment, but she's not blaming Hibiki for them getting apart. I like it. They really they they really can write characters well. I have to say, these characters feel extremely real. Yep, yep, yeah, a suicide song. At the cost of someone else's life. Tell that to Kanade. I never had any friends. There we go. That's why Finney has such an influence on her. That's why she's so bound to Finney. She was the first real family she had. Yep, yep, yep. She understands. Oh, I like that she understands that Finney was using her. Okay. Yeah. Yuki and Chris. She's not. Bring her to the light side, Miku. Bring her to the light side. Hell yeah. Friends with Chris. Noise alarm. Is Chris gonna fight alongside them now to protect Miku? Hibiki is gonna fight hand in hand with Chris. There goes my copy. And I don't need it anymore because shit's getting real. No, she's usually the one who fights alongside the noise. She never runs from them. You're becoming a main character, or rather, a part of the main cast. That's what you're doing, Chris. You're showing us your good side. Yes, and now you have a chance to atone. Should have thought about it sooner. But now you have a chance to fix that. You gonna cry or you gonna fight? Judging by the music, she's gonna fight. Hell yeah. Can sing? Humst. Genjiro. Genjiro. Motherfucker doesn't need a symphogear. He's an asphalt bender. This man. Uh, Henshin. Proper Henshin sequence for Chris. The Red Valkyrie has arrived. Yeah, she has like quadruple miniguns. Who if not her? Miku? If so, then it would be one hell of a coincidence. Miku! That's a hell of a coincidence. Mm-hmm. Time to fight it barehanded. Are they gonna make up now? They're making up, aren't they? The awareness of Miku. Sing, Hibiki, sing! Save your wife! The fuck are you doing? Sing! She's fine! Henshin and save your wife! There we go. She needs to save her wife. That's what's about her. Now, Miku said she wants to help her fight. When is Miku joining as the fourth Valkyrie? Hell yeah! We need the power of friendship to do that. What was that? Grapple hooks on her shins? Hibiki? One punch kill it? And then fly to save your wife. Exactly. Some jet boosters in her arms? I love her Symphogear. I love how versatile it is. I love those boosters. I love those uh, punch strengtheners or whatever it is. I love everything about it. Friend zoned. That's why she's crying. Yeah, Miku, we need to fix your Symphogear. So you decided to make it worse? You're not the best at making decisions, Miku, are you? You didn't want to lose her. That's why you said, I can't be your friend. Thought she's gonna puke blood for a moment. Nice little selfie. By the way, the noise attack is still underway and people are fucking dying. But I'm glad you girls are having a good time. What about Chris now? Ryoko? Ryoko. Chris! What? What became of her? She just ran. Okay, so she's not joining quite yet, it would seem. Still gonna give it an episode or two until she's introduced as a transfer student at this school. We still have a couple minutes left, so maybe there's gonna be some after credits scene. We'll see. I really like this episode. Holy shit, it was great. I mean, there hasn't been a bad episode of Symphogear yet, so what am I even saying? A great episode is like the status quo here, it's the default. I don't need to say that the episode was great. It was great! Every episode has been great. And this is Stinging Nettle. Hmm. Okay, so it went kind of sort of in the reverse order. I thought we are gonna handle Chris first and then we're gonna handle Miku, but no, we handled Miku first. Honestly, I like that. I like this order. It stands to reason that it will take a little more time to get Chris to our side than it took Miku to forgive Hibiki, or rather ask Hibiki for forgiveness. Oh, no, nothing after credits. Not a preview, not an after credits scene. Okay. Okay, let's go through this episode again then. Shall we? There we go. Yeah. Chris meets Miku. Any other scenes that seem changed? Not really. Yeah, Ichibos were there. I really like how Symphogear is subverting some of the tropes of like a school setting series. Kind of, sort of a slice of life, not really, not exactly, but generally speaking, a school setting series. In any other, maybe not any other, but most other series, this trio would be the bullies who bully Hibiki, and Hibiki's only friend would be Miku, and Hibiki's time at school would be absolutely miserable, and she would be escaping into being the hero because that lets her be, feel good about herself and whatnot. No, Hibiki doesn't have a hard time at school. Nobody gives her a hard time. She has a lot of friends. Her time spent at school is enjoyable. I really, really like it. I'm a fan of trope subversion that subverts bad tropes into good. Or at least, in my opinion, bad tropes into good. I'm not a huge fan of turning good things bad just to subvert expectations. Like, there was a couple of years where every season there would be like 3 Mahou Shoujo series that were a complete subversion of the genre, and they were gory and bloody and dark and whatnot. Not a huge fan of that kind of subversion. Huge fan of this kind of subversion. I did not expect. Yeah, on one hand, where else would Miku take Chris? On the other, I kinda didn't expect her to take her home. I mean, Miku is living in the dorms for a reason, right? If she's within walking distance from her home, why is she living at the dorm? Kinda weird. Maybe simply because she wanted to live with Hibiki. It wouldn't surprise me, but still kinda odd that she's living at the dorm. That instant blush. Yeah, Chris is a good girl. She really is a good girl who's simply been through a lot. Through an awful lot, like we've seen in the flashbacks. And that is exactly what made her so easy to influence and to misguide. Any semblance of care, any semblance of goodwill that was shown to her was the most care and the most goodwill that she has ever received. So, Finney paying a lot of attention to Chris and essentially grooming her, let's be honest, that's exactly what Finney did, was what made Chris follow Finney's every command, essentially. I like how aware characters are in this series, right? Miku is fully aware of the fact that it was her mistake, it was her fuck up that destroyed, quote unquote, her relationship with Hibiki. She doesn't blame Hibiki for that. She blames herself, right? I said too much. In the heat of a moment, I said some hurtful words. Now I regret it. I cherish Hibiki so much, I cherish our relationship, but there I went and destroyed it. I really, really like it. It's very, very real, right? She behaves and she thinks like an actual, real, functional human being. A lot of the time in rom-coms or generally romance series, you have one of the characters basically behaves like a sociopath, even though it's their fault that the main pair broke up. The one side is always like, no, it was his fault. If he didn't go out to the shop with his sister, who I didn't know it was his sister, none of that would have happened. Right? There's never any self-reflection. Here, there's a lot of self-reflection in a very short span of time. Miku didn't need to come to terms with the fact that it was her mistake. She realized it almost immediately. At least from the viewer's perspective. I don't know how much time exactly passed between last episode and this episode, but it's not a situation where we have to spend like 3 episodes on Miku slowly realizing that maybe she was mistaken there. That maybe she didn't mean what she said. No, Miku is fully aware of that. I really like it. Same goes for Chris. I don't know if it's here that she says it or... No, I think it's a bit later. Yeah, it's later. I didn't have any friends. The one person who I thought understood me was really just using me all along. Again, she's very self-aware. She was able to process all of that properly. And it's not a trait that anime characters have very often. And here we have two characters that have this trait. That would be enough for like two whole anime seasons. Winter 2022 and spring 2022 would probably have fewer characters that are self-aware than this episode alone. I really like it. Chris isn't... She had a phase of, no, Finney, take me with you. Why are you discarding me? I'm yours. I want to be your partner and whatnot. She had that brief moment, but then Finney attacked her with noise, Chris had to run, and she realized, yeah, she doesn't care about me. She's just using me. Fuck that bitch. She's not immediately trying to run back to Finney and explain herself, or beg for forgiveness, or plot something like, oh, I bet that if I manage to restrain Hibiki and bring her to Finney, then Finney will take me in her arms and she's gonna whip my ass with her whip. And I love my ass being whipped. Right? She's not having that moment. She's openly saying, Finney was using me. I don't know where to go. I'm very lost because of that, but Finney was using me. I'm not going back to Finney. I really like it. I really, really do. And yeah, she went through a lot of hardship. She essentially was what? A child slave? She was trafficked? Yeah. You should just beat the shit out of whoever was that you fought with. Of course, that's Chris's approach to it all. And she has a lot of self-hatred. Yep, she has a lot of self-loathing. And she will have to come to terms with that in the span of the rest of this season, and perhaps even well into the next season. Although from what I heard, the creators of this show didn't know whether or not it's gonna be the next season, so the first season is fairly self-contained. So I'm assuming she's gonna go through her self-loathing, at least for the most part, in the span of the first season. Yeah, this anime isn't stretching things out, I noticed. They're not stretching Miku's issues with Hibiki across 3 episodes. They didn't stretch Chris running away for like 6 episodes. They didn't stretch the thing where Miku noticed Hibiki with Tsubasa in the hospital for like half a season, right? They do it very quickly. It wouldn't surprise me if Chris joined our team in like the very next episode. And by the end of the next episode, she'd be having okonomiyaki with Miku and Hibiki. Wouldn't surprise me. And I really like it. I really like this accelerated pace. There is no nonsense, no bullshit, no padding. Every single scene is purposeful. I really like it. There are, of course, sure, some establishing shots and whatnot, absolutely, but when a scene with people happens, there is some consequence of that. Right? There is not a situation where a couple of people talk with each other and nothing becomes of it. And it's just padding. I'm going back a little because I completely skipped over this segment. Thought I was determined enough. Someone stronger. And yeah, Tsubasa is clearly warming up to Hibiki, if not being warmed up completely. Superb song causes extensive damage to the body. Yeah. Your songs were what gave me the strength to survive. Hibiki really likes those songs. Chris really hates her song. That's a pair made in heaven, isn't it? Hibiki is gonna show Chris the beauty of her own song. See, Chris? Your song isn't only for distraction. You saved so many people. Songs and symphogears aren't made for anything. They are only tools. Their use depends entirely on the user. If you use your symphogear and your song for distraction, then it will destroy. If you use it to save people, then it will save people. You are the one who decides. I can see that happening. Noise alarm. And of course, Chris is completely unaware of that. Well, of course. Has she been always kept in Finney's mansion? Has she never been to town? Has she never witnessed the noise alarm? Maybe. Maybe, probably. But then again, before she went back to Finney, last time, she was walking around the city like it was nothing. Kinda weird. Kinda weird that she doesn't realize what the sirens are for. I mean, even if when she would go out with an army of noise to attack Hibiki, the sirens would probably sound. She would probably recognize the sound. I don't know. What am I even doing? You're coming to the light side. And of course, she has a lot of self-loathing and regret over what she did. All those innocent people are running from the noise, and I used to be on the side of the noise. Well, maybe not entirely, but I used to use noise to fight. I used to summon those creatures that are now terrorizing the populace. I wanted to make the world a better place. And all this time I've been making it worse? I wanted to save people from suffering, but all I caused was suffering? It's a nice internal conflict to have. And of course she wants to fight, but her throat is dry. And Genjuro... Genjuro? I think I called him Genjiro last time. Sorry, Genjuro. Genjuro to the rescue. Why do we even need Valkyries? Why do we even need Symphogears? This motherfucker just stomps his foot and creates a wave of concrete that's bigger than the hole that it left. He's clearly he's clearly an asphalt bender. And those asphalt projectiles can just destroy the noise. Apparently, the noise is supposed to be out of phase with human reality, but if Genjuro kicks a piece of asphalt at the noise monster, then that noise monster is getting a piece of asphalt in their face. Just train more people the way Genjuro was trained. I don't know, he probably fell into a potion of strength when he was little. Now he's not allowed to drink anymore, but the strength remains. Chris has a very nice henshin. I mean, the henshin animations are pretty much the same for everybody. For a moment, when she pulled out the crossbows, I thought that they did something very stupid. And it happens sometimes, not often, but sometimes, where the villain comes to the bright side, to the light side, and discards everything old, gets like a new weapon and a new armor and everything new. I thought they were going for something like that here, that she would discard her rocket launchers and her miniguns and use dual crossbows instead because they match her color scheme better. And I wouldn't have liked that because quad miniguns are probably a little bit more effective at dispatching hordes of monsters than dual crossbows. But no, I was. It was a completely unwarranted fear. She just pulls out those quad miniguns later and decimates the noise. I couldn't save her this time either. Couple of things in this single sentence. I couldn't save her. Am I to understand it that he believes that Chris isn't quite on the light side yet? He didn't manage to bring her to their side yet, even though he tried through his actions? Or am I to understand it literally? I couldn't save her this time because she didn't need saving. She saved herself. He's just stating the fact. There's a double meaning. And also, either. Does Genjiro have a past with Chris? I think so far she's been treated only like a villain, really. She's always been in direct opposition. It wasn't on the table to bring her to the light side. So that either can't be referring to the previous episode. I think it refers to some past that Genjiro has with Chris. Perhaps he was aware of the child trade and was trying to bust that organization, but Chris has already been sold to Finney. Maybe he was on track of someone who has high level of synchronization, potential synchronization with Symphogear, and he was trying to rescue her from the slave traders, but he couldn't manage that. I think it might be something along those lines. Come on, it's showtime, and now I'll blow all off. Some very nice animation on ones. A bit on ones, a bit on twos. Rain of blood like a volcano. Yeah, the fight scenes are amazing. And now I'll blow all of you and you and you. This song really fits Chris. No questions about it. All to tiny pieces. It really fits Chris. Hibiki's song is all about protecting and saving people. Chris's song is all about destroying the noise, destroying all obstructions on her way. I really like it. I really like how the songs really match the personalities of the characters. Although that begs a question. Are songs specific to a person? And if so, then how do they come up with them? Is it just in the spur of a moment, the words suddenly get into your head and you immediately know what to sing? Or do you have to spend a day or two writing down the song and eventually that song will be good enough? We haven't seen that happen, so I'm assuming it's just a Symphogear is talking to you and giving you the words, something along those lines. Or are the songs Symphogear specific? I don't remember what was Kanade's Henshin song. I don't think it was the same as Hibiki's song, though. So perhaps they're specific to a person. Not sure. Yeah, that's one hell of a coincidence. Yeah, it's chasing after sounds. They make up with each other, of course. Miku saves the day. Hibiki henshins and runs after her. It's not of the survivor's guilt. I'm glad we hear that, because all this time I thought it was actually survivor's guilt that drives Hibiki. Perhaps it was at the beginning, but now she worked out her own set of values, her own set of things that she herself, by herself, on her own, wants to protect. Oh, okay. It's because it was Kanade's dream, so she wants to continue Kanade's dream. Not sure if I'm a fan of the reason. I would much rather if Hibiki actually worked out the things she wants to protect herself. Uh, One way or another, it's someone else that drives her. If it was survivor's guilt, it would be her guilt about the death of Kanade that would be driving her. It's because that was Kanade's dream. Also, doesn't seem like a great reason to fight for me. Like, I get the sentimental value of it, sure, but I'd much rather Hibiki fight on her own, by her own, of her own volition, for her own goals, not for Kanade. Maybe it's something that Hibiki will slowly grow into. I don't know, we'll see. In any case, I love the mechanical design of Symphogears. Oh, I was going backwards, not forwards. I thought those were grapple hooks. But no, those are... Oh, they extend and then they retract, and the force of retraction... Oh, they retract and go all the way to the back, and that boosts her forward. Okay, I see how it works. I love it. I love that she has a lot of mechanical bits in her costume. The thing with on her arms that empowers her punches as well, it's purely mechanical. I like that it's not all magic or energy or whatever you want to call it, right? That her punches aren't empowered by a shell of magic energy that concentrates around her fist. That her jumping here isn't her legs starting to glow with energy and she jumps, or some sort of jump jets or something like that. It's purely mechanical. I really, really like that. Yeah, she loads it up. It almost looks like there's an artillery shell there, right? The red point at the top, it's like the what's it called? The not a fuse. You know what I mean, right? The thing that the hammer in a gun punches and it explodes. I really like that a lot of her weapons, a lot of her design is mechanical. You don't often see that. Very often, the power of any sort of superhero-ish character comes from some vaguely described energy or vaguely described magic. Here, no, it's just a hunk of metal that accelerates at a great speed, and that brings a lot more power to the punch. It's just physics. It's not magic. It's not some bullshittery. It's not some mumbo jumbo. It's just good old Isaac Newton. Boom! Punched right through. Yep, and she goes straight through it. I love it. Jets. Jump jets. To cushion the fall. I really like it. And they immediately make up. No, no drama. They didn't let it fester for however many episodes. Miku was just open with Hibiki. Listen, I fucked up. I was scared of you. I didn't mean what I said. Can you be my friend again? Hibiki's like, yeah, I know that you didn't mean that. You're a very precious person to me. I'm glad that you want to be my friend. Let's get a commemorative selfie. I love it. Yeah, I'm almost fully convinced that Miku is gonna join the team sooner or later. She's way too embedded into all that for it to not happen. Also, she said that she wants to fight as well. That's if that's not foreshadowing, I don't know what is. I'm in awe. I'm consistently and constantly in awe of how great Symphogear is. Great animation, great art aside, the characters are written so extremely well, and the stories, the episodes themselves, it's everything written so well. Perhaps it's because of the age of this show, at least in part. It used to be, I feel at least, that older shows around like 2011 to 2017, let's say. Well, maybe not 2017, earlier, like 2011 to 2015, around that area. They still didn't often follow established tropes. And maybe that's part of the reason why Symphogear is so great about it. And nowadays, every single romance series, you can be damn sure that there is gonna be some big misunderstanding that could have been solved by the main couple just talking. It's like a checkbox, you have to have it. In here, there was a big misunderstanding. Absolutely. But it was instantly solved. Because characters are very mature. And characters are very, very aware. And they are very well written. Characters in Symphogear aren't written like tropes. They are written as actual characters. Sure, you can more or less assign some tropes to those characters. I mean, there's so many different tropes out there that you'd be hard pressed to find any character in any sort of media that doesn't follow at least one trope. Such is the nature of tropes. But characters here aren't defined by those tropes. Hibiki isn't the usual reluctant dojiko main heroine that gets bullied in school and whatnot. No, she's very successful at school. She has a lot of friends, she has a lot of support, she has a great friend, she's living a great life. Right? She doesn't join the organization out of desperation and whatnot. No, she wants for nothing. And yet she decides to join. Miku isn't the archetype of an extremely jealous and almost sociopathic love interest that always believes it's the main character that's at fault and is constantly jealous and is constantly crying and how I saw you with a girl in a donut shop. How could you do that to me? Or just instantly gives silent treatment while it was just the main character going out with his sister, who came visit the city. I've been talking a lot about that trope, but it's something that really sticks out to me a lot in a lot of shows, and I fucking hate this trope. I loathe it with the very essence of my being. Miku isn't that person. Miku is aware. Miku knows that it was my fuck up. I fucked up. Hibiki is still precious to me, and I want to make up with her. instead of being like, oh, I know that it was my mistake, but I'm gonna wait for her to reach out to me. I'm not gonna say sorry. I'm too prideful for that. Or even worse, her believing that it wasn't my fault at all. It was all Hibiki. Or yet another very common trope of her believing that, oh, it was all my fault. I have no right to be Hibiki's friend. I need to go live in solitude. I will drop out of school and go live on a farm with my parents. That is all too common. It's all too common. Completely wallowing in self pity after a single fuck up. And I don't like that trope either. No, Miku is very open. Hey, Hibiki, I fucked up. I said some mean things to you. I didn't mean them. I was simply scared of you. I care about you a lot, and I was scared about what I learned. Will you forgive me? And Hibiki, of course, forgives her. Because that's what a functional human being does. I love it. Chris is also written extremely well. She's a very deep character, but she's also very. How should I say it? She's not defined by single traits. None of characters here are defined by single traits. Maybe besides Genjiro. But I have a feeling that he's kind of sort of comic relief. Maybe not comic relief, but the ridiculous relief, kinda. He jumps in and just bends asphalt with his kick. A very light-hearted character is what I wanted to say. But Chris, again, she isn't defined by being the villain. She isn't defined by being jealous of Hibiki. She isn't defined by her attachment to Finei. No, she actually overcomes that. Like any sane, functional person would. She sicked her dogs on me. She probably doesn't want me back. So I'm not gonna go back. I don't know where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna be a vagrant for a moment, but I'm not going back to her. Right? Chris sees that, oh, the noise that I was usually cooperating with, the noise are chasing after innocent people. I should probably do something about it. I should probably fight them. I have the power to do that, so I probably should. Because I want to make the world a better place, ultimately. My attempts to do that might have been misguided, but my ultimate goal remains the same. And I can't just turn a blind eye. I really, really, really like the writing. I really, really, really enjoy the characters. And I can't wait. I cannot wait until Chris joins us. Because she absolutely will. She absolutely will join us. Her shedding her Nehushtan armor was kind of like the beginning of her joining, because now her design is more in line with Hibiki's and Tsubasa's Hibiki's and Tsubasa's designs. So she can't do anything else but join. And also, she's the Red Ranger. We have a Blue Ranger, the Yellow Ranger, and now it's the Red Ranger. And I still do firmly believe that Miku is gonna be the Green Ranger. I don't know if my prediction is accurate, but I have a feeling that that's what's gonna happen. Or maybe we will keep with our main trio and nobody new will join us. I'm not sure. I'm not sure actually. Though in this kind of show, you usually have a steady trickle of new characters joining our main cast, right? Be it Kamen Rider or Power Rangers or some Maho Shoujo shows. Even in like Little Witch Academia, our group of friends was slowly expanding, right? Slowly Amanda joined us, and who else? Constance. Eventually, even what's her face? Uh, the white-haired girl, Ako's wife. I forgot her name. Diana. Yeah, Diana joined us. Diana's grants joined us. Right? We're building up a team, and I fully expect that by the end of the last season of this show, we're not gonna have just 3 Valkyries in our team. We're gonna have, my bet is 5 or 6. That's usually the sweet spot. I hope that the next episode will be about bringing Chris to the light side with the power of Miku. I would love to see that. I would love to see Miku, Hibiki, Tsubasa, and Chris sitting down and eating some crepes, or eating some okonomiyaki, or just sitting out in Hibiki's room, talking and laughing and playing Monopoly. That would be a big, big payoff, I feel like. So maybe it will even be left for the end of the season. Maybe Chris will be the kind of... That's also kind of a trope. An evildoer becoming a good character, but still a part of our main group of heroes. It's something that happened a lot in Power Rangers, where you would have that one odd ranger, like the Gold Ranger or the Blue. No, I don't think Blue was ever an oddball. Green Ranger or Black Ranger or Gold Ranger or White Ranger that would be fighting for the same cause but never part of the main team, and eventually after some time they would join. I have a feeling Chris might be that kind of character for at least a couple more episodes. She fights alongside us, she fights against Noise, but she's not a part of the same team. Until she becomes a part of the same team. Perhaps she gets injured, and she gets taken in, and they help her, and she simply never leaves the organization. It wouldn't surprise me if that was how it's gonna go. But we will learn about it by watching future episodes. For now, I think that's gonna be it from me. So leave me a comment down below what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my reaction, what you thought of my theories. Just don't spoil me anything, I beg of you. I want to experience it myself, completely blind, no spoilers. If you must post spoilers, join my Discord server, link in the description, because on Discord you can actually use spoiler tags, and I'm not clicking them, I'm not opening them, I remain in blissful ignorance. But you can talk with other fans of Symphogear there, with spoilers, and I'll be none the wiser. And it's a pretty great arrangement if you ask me. The server is open to everybody. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve, and subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases. Not only Symphogear, but also Sabiku Ibisco, Arifureta Season 2, Tokyo 24Ku, and DOS Front Line. Click the bell icon so you get notified. You know the drill. If you really like what I'm doing, and if you would like early access to Symphogear, if you're watching this on YouTube right now, know that on Patreon there will be the next episode already available, episode 9. So if you cannot wait, throw me a buck, and you'll get access to that. $10 to be more precise. That's how much is the early access for a buck. However, you get access to a Patreon-only channel on my Discord server. So if you're into that, that's also an option. Share this video if you know someone who would enjoy it, if you're in any Symphogear-related Discord servers or subreddits or forums or Eric servers or whatever. Share my videos. I heard people who watch Symphogear really like Symphogear reactions, so maybe they will also like mine. And it helps grow the channel, and it helps me a lot. Believe you me, the more you share my videos, the more YouTube itself shares my videos. It's kind of a snowball effect. So let's get the ball rolling, right? Is that all? I think that's all. So, that's gonna be it from me for today. And as always, do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Cheers! And this is yet another benefit that all of my patrons get. They get to be in the credits.